There's something about airports that makes us feel both invisible and exposed all at once. We move through them, believing we're just another face in the crowd, never thinking that someone might be watching, never thinking that the small choices we make, what we share, what we post, what we leave unguarded, could be the very things that put us in danger. This is a story about a young woman who learned that lesson the hardest way possible. But it's also about the quiet heroism of strangers, the wisdom that comes with age, and the kind of courage that doesn't announce itself with fanfare. It's about survival. And it's about the goodness that still exists, even in the darkest corners. Emily Carter's knees pressed against cold linoleum. The bathroom floor was wet. She could see the gap under the stall door, 2 inches of space between metal and tile. A pair of women's shoes stood on the other side, black flats. Scuffed at the toe, the shoes didn't move. Emily's hand trembled when she pulled it back from the door handle. Her fingers were still curled in that strange position, thumb tucked into her palm. Other fingers wrapped around it, the signal she'd learned from a video at 2 in the morning when she couldn't sleep, a video she never thought she'd need. The woman's voice came through the door, soft, patient, like a mother coaxing a child out of hiding. "Sweetheart, you need to come out now. We just need to talk." Emily's throat closed. She looked at the water bottle on the floor beside her, the one the woman had given her 20 minutes ago, the one that had tasted like metal and made the world go soft at the edges. Her phone sat in her lap. 17 missed calls from her mother. She couldn't answer, couldn't risk the sound. The shoes shifted. A knock on the door. 3 taps. Gentle. "Emily, your parents are waiting to hear from you. Don't you want to call them?" The woman knew her name. Of course she knew. Emily had posted it everywhere. Instagram, Facebook, tagged in photos, check-ins at coffee shops. Her full name attached to the boarding pass she'd shared last night, the post that got 234 likes. She'd built a map to herself and handed it to strangers. Behind the door. Something scraped, metal on metal. The woman was trying the lock. Emily looked up at the ceiling. Water-stained tiles, fluorescent light buzzing. She thought about her mother making breakfast this morning. Scrambled eggs, coffee in the old percolator. The way her father had sat behind his newspaper, not looking at her but listening to every word. She should have hugged them longer. The scraping stopped. "I'm going to count to 10, the woman said, voice still gentle, still kind. "And then I'm going to open this door, and we're going to walk out together, nice and quiet, and your parents will be just fine. Do you understand?" Emily's hand found her phone. She typed without looking at the screen. Sent the message to 911. 3 words. Airport, bathroom, help. 1. She hit send. 2. The phone slipped from her hand, clattered on the tile. 3. Footsteps outside the bathroom. Multiple people. Running. 4. A different voice. Male. Firm. "Ma'am, step away from the door." The black shoes pivoted. Fast. "Oh, officer, thank goodness. There's a young woman in there. I think she's having some kind of episode. I've been trying to help." "Step away from the door. Now." A pause. Then the shoes moved. Backward. Slow. "Of course. I was just worried about her. Hands where I can see them." Emily heard it then. A sound she'd know anywhere. The click of claws on tile. A dog. She pressed her face to the gap under the door. Saw him. German shepherd, black and tan, sitting perfectly still 10 feet away, his eyes locked on the stall door. On her. The dog from before. The one she'd touched, the one she'd signaled to when her body wouldn't do anything else. Rex? The bathroom door burst open. More footsteps. Radio chatter. A woman's voice, not the kind one. A different one giving orders. "Secure the area. Get EMS in here." The black shoes were gone now. Emily heard struggling. A woman protesting. "There's been a misunderstanding. I work here. I was just trying to help." The stall door rattled. Emily Carter. "My name is Agent Torres, FBI. You're safe now. Can you unlock the door?" Emily's hand reached up, found the lock, turned it. The door opened. A woman in a black suit knelt down. Dark hair pulled back, eyes that didn't look away. "You're okay. You're safe." Emily shook her head. The words came out broken. "My parents." She said, "Someone's watching my parents." She said, Torres pulled out her radio. "I need a welfare check. 3247 Maple Street, right now." Emily heard the response through static. Confirmed. Officers en route. Rex appeared in the doorway, pushed past Torres, sat down in front of Emily. Put his head on her knee. Emily's hands buried in his fur. Held on. Good boy, someone said. A man's voice. Rough, older. Emily looked up. A man in his late 60s stood in the doorway. Flannel shirt, jeans, weathered face, the dog's handler. He knelt down beside Torres, moved slow, like his knees hurt. Name's Walter, he said. This here's Rex. He's the one who knew something was wrong. Emily couldn't speak. Just held the dog. Walter's radio crackled. Welfare check complete. Residents are safe. No suspicious activity. Emily's breath came out in a sob. Torres stood. We need to get you somewhere secure. Can you walk? Emily nodded, tried to stand. Her legs gave out. Walter caught her elbow. Easy now. Take your time. Rex pressed against her side, steady, warm, together. They got her to her feet, outside the bathroom. The terminal was chaos. TSA agents, police, paramedics, and there, 20 feet away, the woman in the gray cardigan, hands cuffed behind her back. 2 officers flanking her. The woman looked at Emily. Smiled. Not a friendly smile, something else, something that said, "This isn't over." Emily looked away. They walked her through the terminal. People stared. Some held up phones, filming. Emily kept her eyes down, watched Rex's paws on the linoleum. Left, right, steady, reliable, real. They took her to a room marked authorized personnel only. Small, windowless, metal table, 3 chairs. Sit, Torres said. Not unkind, just direct. Emily sat. Rex lay at her feet. Walter poured water from a thermos into a paper cup, handed it to her. Drink. She did. It was cold, clean, nothing metallic about it. Torres sat across from her, pulled out a notepad. I need you to tell me everything. Start with when you got to the airport. Emily opened her mouth. Nothing came out. Walter put a hand on her shoulder. Take your time, kid. Ain't nobody rushing you. Emily looked at the water cup. At Rex. At Walter's weathered hands. I posted my boarding pass, she whispered. On Instagram, last night. Torres wrote something down. What else did you post? Everything. Emily's voice broke. My flight number, my seat, the time, and before that, photos at home with the address tagged, my parents' names, where they work, where... She couldn't finish. Torres set down her pen. Emily, listen to me. What happened today is not your fault. What happened today is the fault of the woman we just arrested. Her name is Diane Morrison. She's been on our radar for 3 years. You're the first person who got away. Emily looked up. The first. Torres opened a folder, pulled out photos. 17 of them, young women, Emily's age, maybe younger, maybe older, all smiling, all holding boarding passes or standing in airports or tagged at terminals. These girls didn't get away, Torres said quietly. We're still looking for most of them. Emily's stomach turned. 3 were found alive. 14 are still missing. The room went silent. Just the hum of the fluorescent light overhead. Walter's hand stayed on Emily's shoulder, steady, grounding. Why are you showing me this? Emily whispered. Because you need to know what you survived. And because... Torres hesitated. Because we need your help. Emily looked at the photos. 17 faces, 17 families waiting, wondering, hoping. What do you need? Your testimony, to put Diane Morrison away, and to help us find who she works for. Emily's hands started shaking again. Everyone's going to know. My face, my name, my... Your mistake, Torres finished. Yes, they will. Silence. Rex lifted his head, looked at Emily. Walter's voice was low. Ain't nobody here gonna tell you what to do. This is your choice. But I'll tell you something my wife used to say. He paused. You can't control what people think. You can only control what you do. Emily looked at the 17 photos again. At the faces that would never go home. Okay, she said. I'll do it. If you're reading this from your living room, from your porch, or maybe from a quiet corner where you go to think, would you share where you're watching from? Sometimes it helps to know we're not alone in this big, complicated world. The kitchen smelled like butter and black pepper. Emily's mother stood at the stove, pushing scrambled eggs around the pan with a wooden spatula. The eggs had been done for 3 minutes, but Susan Carter kept stirring. Scrape, scrape, scrape against the cast iron. The coffee percolator burbled on the counter, the same one from Emily's childhood, dented on the left side where her father had dropped it in 1998. Still worked fine. Emily sat at the table, phone face down on the placemat. The screen lit up every 30 seconds. She didn't flip it over. Behind his newspaper, Richard Carter turned a page. The paper crinkled loud in the quiet. He cleared his throat but didn't speak. Susan set down the spatula, wiped her hands on a dish towel that was already dry. "You got everything, phone charger, your toothbrush." Mm-hmm. Emily's thumb traced circles on the dark phone screen. "Your father put cash in your wallet. $40. Just in case those payment apps don't work." "Mom, everyone uses Venmo now." The spatula started moving again, scraping eggs that didn't need scraping. Richard folded his newspaper in half, then quarters, set it beside his coffee cup. "Call when you land." "I will." Not a text message, an actual phone call. Emily looked up. Her father's eyes were on his coffee, not on her. "Okay, Dad." Susan pulled a brown paper bag from the counter, folded at the top with the corners aligned just so. She'd written on a post-it note in her slanted cursive, "Eat something real when you get there." 3 granola bars inside, the kind Emily used to like in middle school. Emily shoved the bag into her backpack without reading the note. The zipper caught on fabric. She yanked it. It closed most of the way. 2 inches of gap remained at the top. Her phone buzzed against the table. She grabbed it fast. 234 likes, 5 new comments. "So proud of you, college girl. Get it safe travels, babe." Emily smiled at the screen. Susan watched her daughter smile at strangers. Her hands twisted the dish towel. "Emily, honey, that photo you posted, the one with your boarding pass, should you have—" "Mom, everyone does it. I know, but your seat number is showing, and the flight time. What if what? What if someone tracks me down at the airport?" Emily stood up, hoisted her backpack over one shoulder. The open zipper gaped like a mouth. "That's not how the world works." Susan's mouth closed. She nodded, turned back to the stove. Richard stood, walked to his daughter, put one hand on her shoulder, patted twice. Stiff, uncertain. "Be smart," he said. "I will." Susan's hug lasted too long. Her fingers dug into Emily's shoulder blades through her sweater. When she finally let go, her eyes were wet. "I love you, baby." "Love you too, Mom." Emily walked to the front door, hand on the knob. She looked back. Her parents stood in the kitchen doorway. Her mother's hand covered her mouth. Her father's arm hung at his side, not quite reaching his wife's shoulder. Emily raised her hand, waved. They waved back. She stepped outside. The September air was cool, smelled like cut grass and someone's wood-burning stove. The door clicked shut behind her. Inside, Susan's phone buzzed on the counter. She picked it up. Facebook notification. Susan Carter shared Emily Carter's post. The boarding pass photo, clear as day. Flight 447 to Denver, seat 23A, September 10th, 9:45 a.m., visible to 847 friends. Susan smiled, typed a comment. "So proud of my girl." First semester away from home, she hit post, set the phone down, went back to washing dishes that were already clean, 70 miles away. In a studio apartment above a laundromat, a woman named Diane Morrison sat at a kitchen table with a laptop open. She'd been scrolling through Facebook for 2 hours, looking for a specific type of post, a specific type of girl, young, traveling alone, predictable. She found Susan Carter's post at 7:47 a.m., clicked on Emily's profile, scrolled through 6 months of photos, home address tagged 47 times, parents' names and captions, daily routine visible in timestamps. Diane opened a new tab, searched Flight 447 Denver, September 10th, Terminal B, Gate 31, boarding at 9:30. She closed the laptop, looked at the gray cardigan hanging on the back of her chair, picked up her phone, made a call. "I've got one," she said. "College age, solo traveler, lands in Denver tonight." A pause. "No, this one's easy. She posted everything." Another pause. "I'll send you the details." She hung up, put on the gray cardigan, left for the airport. Terminal B smelled like burnt coffee and that sharp chemical they use to mop floors. Emily found a seat by the window and dropped her backpack on the chair beside her. The zipper was still open. She tugged it. It caught on fabric, stuck 2 inches from closing. Good enough. Through the glass, planes sat on the tarmac. Heat rippled off the concrete in waves. She pulled out her phone, opened the camera, tilted it at a 45-degree angle. The boarding pass sat on her thigh. Her iced coffee sweated rings onto the armrest. In the background, blurred a window, part of a jet tail. She took 6 photos, deleted 2. The 4th one looked best. She opened the editing screen, adjusted the brightness, made the colors pop. New chapter. Her thumb hovered over the share button. She pressed it. 3 likes came in 10 seconds, then 7 more, then 15. Emily smiled at the screen. She stood, walked 15 feet to the coffee station, left her backpack on the chair. Phone in her hand. A woman in a gray cardigan passed Emily's empty seat. She stumbled not much. Just a half step and her purse caught the backpack strap. The bag tipped sideways. "Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry." The woman bent down fast, picked up the backpack with both hands. Her fingers moved inside the open zipper. 2 seconds, maybe 3. She set the bag upright, smoothed the strap, smiled at the businessman in the next seat. Clumsy me. He didn't look up from his laptop. The woman walked toward the restrooms. Her cardigan pockets sagged more than they had before. Emily came back with napkins, sat down, checked her phone. 23 likes now. A girl from high school commented with 3 heart emojis. Emily typed a reply, deleted it, typed another one, posted it. 10 minutes passed. Her phone battery hit 68%. She needed the charger cable from her backpack. She unzipped the main compartment, felt around inside. The charger wasn't in its usual pocket. She pulled the bag onto her lap, opened it wider, reached past the granola bars her mother had packed, past the water bottle, past the paperback she wouldn't read on the plane. No wallet. Emily's hand moved faster. She checked the front pocket, the side pocket, unzipped the small hidden compartment where she kept emergency tampons. No wallet. She stood up, looked under her chair, under the businessman's chair. He shifted his feet, annoyed. "Sorry," Emily said. She sat back down, opened the backpack again, pulled everything out one piece at a time. Granola bars on the seat, water bottle, paperback, headphones tangled in a knot. The Post-it note from her mom fluttered to the floor. No wallet. Her throat went tight. She swallowed. It didn't help. She stood up again, turned in a slow circle, scanned the gray carpet, the silver trash cans 6 feet away, the empty seats across from her. People walked past, dragging suitcases. A toddler screamed near the Starbucks. No one looked at Emily. She sat down, stood up, sat down again. Her hands shook when she shoved everything back into the backpack. "Sweetheart, are you all right?" Emily turned fast. A woman stood 3 feet away. Gray cardigan, brown hair pulled back in a ponytail, reading glasses hanging from a beaded chain around her neck. A lanyard over her chest said, "Guest Services" in faded blue letters. The plastic looked cheap, worn. The woman's face was soft, concerned, like a teacher, like someone's grandmother. "You look upset, honey." Emily's voice came out thin. "I can't find my wallet." The woman's expression shifted. Practice sympathy. She'd made this face before. "Oh no. Okay, take a breath. This happens all the time. More than you'd think." Emily tried to breathe deep. Her lungs felt small. "When does your flight leave?" Emily looked at the departure board. The numbers blurred. She blinked. 40 minutes. That's plenty of time. "Come on. Lost and found is just through here. We'll get you sorted out." The woman's hand touched Emily's elbow, light as a bird landing. But it stayed there. Emily looked at the lanyard again, at the woman's face. Safe. Something in her brain whispered, "She looks like Mrs. Patterson from 3rd grade." Safe. "Okay." Emily grabbed her backpack. "Thank you." "Of course, sweetie. I have a daughter about your age. I know how scary this must be." They walked away from the main terminal. The woman's hand never left Emily's elbow, gentle but constant, like steering. Emily didn't notice they were moving away from the signs that pointed to Lost and Found. She didn't notice the woman's cardigan pockets hung heavier than before. She didn't notice the security camera in the corner had a blind spot where they were heading. The woman asked about Emily's flight, where she was going, what she was studying. Emily answered. Her voice sounded far away to her own ears. They turned down a corridor. White walls, Fluorescent lights buzzing overhead. The smell of pine sol got stronger. No windows, no clocks. "How much further?" Emily asked. "Just up ahead, honey." But there were no office doors, no signs, just white walls and that buzzing that wouldn't stop. A man in a blue maintenance uniform pushed a mop bucket toward them. His head stayed down. He passed without looking up. Emily opened her mouth to ask him something. The woman's fingers tightened on her elbow. Not painful, just firm. "He's busy." "We're almost there." They kept walking. The woman stopped near a gray metal door. No window, no sign, just a card reader on the wall. She pulled something from her cardigan pocket. A water bottle, Dasani brand. She twisted the cap. It made a cracking sound like a seal breaking. But Emily hadn't heard the seal actually break, just the sound of plastic threads turning. "You look pale." "Sweetheart, low blood sugar probably. Drink some of this before you pass out." Emily stared at this bottle. Clear liquid. Looked normal. The woman lifted it to her own lips. Took a small sip. "See, perfectly safe." She held it out. Emily's throat was bone dry. She'd only had coffee this morning. Her mother's scrambled eggs sat untouched on the kitchen counter. Her hands trembled when she took the bottle. Cold plastic against her palm. She drank. 3 big gulps. The water tasted faintly bitter, metallic on the back of her tongue. 30 seconds. Nothing. 60 seconds. Emily's head felt light, like standing up too fast. 90 seconds. The floor tilted left. She stepped sideways. The woman caught her arm. "Careful now. You okay?" Yeah, just..." The words were clear in Emily's head, but coming out of her mouth they moved like honey. Slow, thick, her knees went soft. She put her hand on the wall. The paint was cold. "Almost there. Just a little further." Emily tried to say, "I need to sit down," but her tongue felt swollen. Her mouth wouldn't shape the words right. The hallway sounds went distant, like hearing underwater. The woman stopped, leaned close. Her breath smelled like peppermint gum. Her voice stayed soft, kind, but something underneath it changed. 3247 Maple Street. Emily's body locked up. "Richard and Susan Carter. Your mom walks every morning at 6:30, out the front door, left turn, past Roosevelt Elementary, through Riverside Park, home by 7:15. Emily couldn't breathe. "She wears a blue windbreaker on Tuesdays." The woman patted Emily's shoulder, gentle, the way you'd comfort a scared child. "There's a man sitting in a silver car outside your house right now. If I don't send him a text message in the next 10 minutes, he's going to knock on your door. Your dad will answer. He'll still be in his bathrobe, still reading the morning paper." Emily's muscles turned to stone. Her brain screamed run, but her legs wouldn't move. The woman smiled. "Good girl. You understand now, don't you?" Emily's head nodded. Small, jerky. She didn't tell it to. "We're going to walk, nice and slow. If anyone asks, you're going to smile and say you're fine, and your parents are going to finish their breakfast in peace. Do we have a deal?" "Okay." The word barely made sound. A child's whisper. They started moving again. Emily's feet touched the ground, but she couldn't feel them. The corridor opened up. Metal detectors ahead. TSA, agents in blue gloves, conveyor belts, people everywhere. And off to the side, a dog, German shepherd, black and tan coat, sitting perfectly still next to a man in faded jeans and a flannel shirt. The dog's ears swiveled before its head turned. The man held a folded newspaper. A white styrofoam cup sat on the floor by his scuffed boot. The dog stood up. Emily's vision blurred at the edges. She blinked hard. The dog was still there, 15 feet away, staring, its nose lifted, nostrils moving. The man lowered his newspaper. "What is it, boy?" The dog took 3 steps forward. Emily remembered something, a video from 2 months ago, late at night when she couldn't sleep, scrolling through her phone, a girl in a car making a hand signal, if you need help but can't speak. Thumb tucked in, fingers closed over it, Emily's right hand started to lift, started to fold. The woman's grip went tight as a vice. "Don't even think about it." Emily's hand dropped, 10 feet from the dog now, its head tilted, eyes locked on Emily's face, on the woman beside her. Emily stumbled. Wasn't hard to fake, her legs barely worked. She grabbed the metal handrail along the wall. The woman had to slow down. "Careful." Emily bent like she was tying her shoe. The laces were already tied, but she fumbled with them anyway. The dog stepped closer. 2 feet away now, Emily's left hand reached out, touched the dog's front leg. Once, twice, 3 times, please. Her right hand stayed behind her back where the woman couldn't see. Thumb folded into her palm. 4 fingers wrapped around it. Squeezed tight. The dog's body went rigid. It barked. Sharp, loud, not friendly, alert. The man in flannel stood fast. His newspaper hit the floor. "Rex!" The dog barked again, stepped between Emily and the woman. 85 pounds of muscle blocking the path. The man walked over, late 60s, tall, shoulders broad under worn flannel. His boots made solid sounds on the floor. "Ma'am?" "Step back from the girl." The woman's smile never changed. "Oh, officer, thank goodness this young lady is feeling faint. Low blood sugar. I'm just helping her to the medical." "Let me see your badge." The woman pulled the lanyard from under her cardigan, held it up. The man looked at it for exactly 2 seconds. "That's not airport issue. It's old. I've been working here 15 years. What's your name?" "Diane Morrison." "What terminal?" "B and C." "I rotate between—" The man's eyes never left her face. Rex doesn't lie. 2 TSA agents turned their heads, started walking over, radios crackling on their shoulders. "Everything all right here?" one asked. Dog alerted. "Check her." Diane's hand released Emily's arm. Slowly, her face stayed calm. Professional. "Of course. Happy to cooperate. This is just a misunderstanding." Emily's knees hit the floor. The linoleum was cold, hard. Rex was there instantly, his head pressed against her shoulder. His breath was warm on her neck. He smelled like dog and something clean, something safe. Emily's fingers grabbed his fur, held on like drowning. The TSA agents each took one of Diane's arms, firm but not rough. Diane turned her head, leaned toward Emily, whispered so only she could hear, "He's already at your house." Emily looked up, her vision swam. Diane smiled, sweet, grandmotherly. "Tell your mom I like her blue windbreaker." The agents pulled her away. The man in flannel knelt beside Emily. His knees popped. "Kid, look at me." Emily found his eyes, blue, clear, steady. "You're safe now. You hear me? My parents," she said, "there's someone—" He pulled a radio from his belt. "Dispatch, need a welfare check. 3247 Maple Street, code 3. Static, then a voice. "Copy, units responding." Emily heard her own address through the radio speaker. The floor was freezing, but she couldn't stand up. Rex stayed pressed against her. Her phone buzzed in her pocket. She didn't reach for it. 20 feet away, between the 2 agents, Diane Morrison looked back one more time, still smiling. The interview room was 10 feet by 12. Metal table bolted to the floor, 3 plastic chairs, fluorescent lights humming the same pitch as out in the hallway. Emily sat wrapped in a brown fleece blanket someone had given her. It smelled like laundry detergent and something musty underneath. Detective Harris sat across from her. Gray suit jacket hung on the back of his chair. White shirt with the sleeves rolled to his elbows. Wedding band worn smooth and thin on his left hand. He twisted it while he wrote in a spiral notebook. His handwriting slanted hard to the left. "You're doing real good, Emily. Just a little more." Emily stared at the table. Someone had carved initials in the corner years ago. J plus M inside a lopsided heart. She traced the letters with her fingernail. "Walk me through it one more time. When did you know something was wrong?" Her voice came out flat. She'd said this twice already. The words felt rehearsed now, empty. "When we went down the hallway. No signs anywhere. No other people." Harris's pen scratched across the page, and she knew your parents' address. Yes. Their names. Yes. Their routine. Yes. Harris stopped writing. How would she know all that? Emily's phone sat on the table between them. Screen dark. She picked it up, unlocked it. The photo app opened automatically because she'd been looking at it before. Her Instagram feed filled the screen. The boarding pass photo had 1,247 likes now. The number kept climbing while she watched. Comments scrolled past. "OMG, are you okay? I saw on the news. You're so brave." Emily scrolled down. Kept scrolling. Her thumb moved, but she wasn't reading anymore. Just watching the endless stream of photos, her life on display. Emily. She set the phone down. Face up this time. I posted everything. Photos from my front porch. You can see the house number. Check-ins at my parents' work. Pictures of my mom in her windbreaker walking through the park. Same park and same time. Every Tuesday morning for the last 6 months. Harris's pen stopped moving. You tagged the locations. Every single one. Did she hack your account? Emily shook her head. She didn't have to. It was all public. Anyone could see it. All she had to do was scroll. The fluorescent light buzzed. A fly hit the glass cover. Buzzed louder. Harris's radio crackled. Static. Then a voice. Welfare check complete. 3247 Maple Street. Residents are safe and secure. No suspicious vehicles in the area. Emily's shoulders dropped. She'd been holding them up near her ears without knowing it. Harris leaned forward. Your parents are fine. You understand they're safe. She nodded. Once? Can I call them? Soon? FB. I wants to talk to you first. FB. This is bigger than pickpocketing. Kid! The door opened. No knock. Just opened. The man in flannel stepped inside. The German shepherd walked in behind him, claws clicking on linoleum. The man pulled out the third chair, sat down heavy. The dog lay at his feet. 5 minutes passed. Nobody spoke. Emily slid off her chair, sat on the floor. The tile was cold through her jeans. Rex got up, walked over, lay down beside her, put his chin on her knee. She buried her face in his fur. It was rough, wiry, warm, real. Her chest hitched once, then again. Hot tears soaked into the dog's shoulder. She tried to stop, couldn't. 10 minutes went by, maybe 15. The man's voice was quiet when he finally spoke. Gravel under truck tires. You did good. Emily's voice came out muffled against Rex's neck. I froze. Yep. I couldn't even make the signal right. You touched my dog 3 times, made that hand sign with the other hand. That ain't freezing. That's thinking on your feet. I let a stranger give me water. I followed her down an empty hallway. You survived. That's what matters. Emily lifted her head. Her face was wet. Snotty? She wiped it with her sleeve. What about the other girls? The man looked at Harris. Harris looked at his notebook. What other girls? Emily asked. The door opened again. A woman in a black suit stepped in. Dark hair pulled back tight. No jewelry except a plain watch. 40, maybe 45. Tired eyes behind wire-frame glasses. Emily Carter. Emily stood up fast, too fast. The room tilted. Rex pressed against her leg. Yes, ma'am. Special Agent Karen Torres, FBI. I need you to see something. Torres set a laptop on the metal table, opened it. The screen came to life. She typed a password. Her fingers moved fast. Certain. She turned the screen toward Emily. 17 photographs filled the display. Grid layout, 3 across, 6 down, 1 more at the bottom. Girl, all of them young, 18 to maybe 24, some smiling, some serious. Driver's license photos, Instagram screenshots, Facebook profile pictures. Under each photo, a name, an age, a date, an airport. Emily's breath caught in her throat. Top left, blonde hair, blue hoodie, big smile. Holding a Starbucks cup, Megan Thompson, 22, missing June 14th, 2024. LAX, below that brunette, glasses, purple scarf. Ashley Rodriguez, 19, missing March 3rd, 2024. O'Hare, bottom right, red hair, denim jacket, peace sign. Hannah Clark, 21, missing January 8th, 2025. JFK. Emily's hand covered her mouth. 7th photo down looked like her. Same age, same brown hair, same kind of smile, holding up a boarding pass in a selfie. Airport terminal blurred behind her. Caitlin Morris, 20, missing September 2nd, 2024. Denver International. They all posted their travel plans. Emily's voice barely made sound. Every single one. Torres pulled the laptop closer, clicked on Megan Thompson's photo. It expanded. Her Instagram feed appeared. Boarding pass, gate number and flight time, seat assignment, home address tagged in 43 different posts. Torres clicked on Ashley Rodriguez. Same thing. Travel details, home location, daily routine visible in photo timestamps. Diane Morrison didn't hack these girls. She didn't break into their houses. She just opened her computer and scrolled. They gave her everything she needed. Emily looked at all 17 faces again. How many have you found? Torres's jaw tightened. She looked at Harris. Harris looked at his hands. Agent Torres, how many? 3, alive. 17 photographs, 3 recovered, 14 still missing. The math was simple, horrible. Emily's legs went weak. She sat back down in the chair, hard. Would you be willing to testify against Diane Morrison? You already caught her. We caught one recruiter, one person in a network. We need to trace who she works for, where she takes the girls, how the operation runs, and for that, we need victims who'll talk. What happens if I say no? Torres didn't blink. We build what case we can. It'll be harder, but possible. No one here will blame you for walking away. Emily looked at the laptop screen. 17 faces, 17 families, 17 empty chairs at dinner tables. Do their parents know about the 3 you found? Yes. Did it help? Torres's mouth pressed into a thin line. Some days. Emily's phone buzzed on the table. Her mother's name lit up the screen. 7th call in the last hour. She picked it up. Her hand shook when she swiped to answer. Her mother's voice came through, broken, panicked. Emily, oh thank God, Richard, she answered. Emily, are you? Where are you? The police called and they wouldn't tell me anything. They just said you were safe, but what happened? Mom. Emily's voice cracked. Mom, I'm okay. Sobbing. Footsteps. The phone dropped. Someone picked it up. Her father. Voice tight, controlled, barely. Emily. Where are you right now? At the airport, FBI office. What happened? Emily opened her mouth, closed it. How do you say it? How do you tell your parents? Dad, someone tried to take me. Silence. The kind that happens when the whole world stops. Then, her father's voice again. Different now. Shaking. Are you hurt? No. Stay there. Don't move. We're coming right now. Dad, you need to check the house first. Make sure no one's... She said someone was watching. She heard him already moving. Heavy footsteps. Doors opening. Closing. Cabinet doors. Closet doors. The basement door squeaking on its hinges. 5 minutes felt like 5 hours. Clear. Her father's breathing was hard. Fast. Everything's locked. Windows. Doors. No one here. Emily let out air she didn't know she'd been holding. Her mother took the phone. Baby? Tell me what happened, please. Emily told her, kept her voice flat, factual. The lost wallet, the woman who helped, the hallway, the water, the address. When she got to the part about posting the boarding pass, her mother's crying got louder. I shared it, her mother said through sobs. Your post, I shared it to Facebook. I wanted everyone to see. I was so proud. Mom, it's not... I should have protected you. I should have known better. Emily heard her father's voice in the background, saying her mother's name, voice breaking on the second syllable. I have to go, Emily said. FB. I needs to ask me more questions. We're coming. We're getting in the car right now. No, stay home. Lock everything. I'll call you tonight. I promise. Emily. I love you, pal. Tell Dad I love him too. She ended the call before her mother could argue. Set the phone face down on the table. Torres picked up the laptop. You don't have to decide right now. Think about it. Talk to your parents. We can... I'll do it. Torres stopped. You sure? No? Emily looked at the 17 faces on the screen one more time. But I'm doing it anyway. Torres nodded slowly. Okay, we'll need to prep you. This won't be easy. Defense attorneys will come after your social media use, your judgment. They'll try to make you look careless. I was careless. That doesn't mean you deserve this. The door burst open. A uniformed officer, young, out of breath. Agent Torres, we've got a problem. Everyone turned. Someone just tried to access the holding area where we're keeping Morrison, used a fake marshal's badge. Security stopped him, but he got away. Torres was on her feet. Description, white male, 60s, gray hair, suit. He had paperwork, transfer orders, looked official until the desk sergeant checked the badge number. Torres grabbed her laptop, looked at Harris. Pull every camera in this building. I want to know who he is and how he knew she was here. She turned to Walter. Don't let her out of your sight. Torres ran out. Harris followed. The door slammed shut. Walter stood up, walked to the door, locked it from the inside. "Kid, come here." Emily stood, walked over. Rex followed. Walter reached into his jacket, pulled out his cell phone. Old flip phone, beat up, held together with electrical tape. "My number's programmed in. Speed dial 2. You need anything at all, you call. Don't care what time it is." Emily took the phone. "What's speed dial 1? Pizza place." Almost made her smile. Almost. "Why are you helping me?" Walter looked at Rex, then back at Emily. "Because you asked, and because my wife would have done the same." "Your wife, she's gone now, 3 years, but she spent 30 years teaching 2nd grade, and she always said," he stopped, started again. "She said if you see someone in trouble and you don't help, you're part of the problem." Emily's throat went tight. The door handle rattled. Someone trying to get in. Walter's hand went to his belt, where a cop would carry a gun. But he wasn't a cop anymore. His hand found nothing. Rex stood up, faced the door, growled low. "FBI!" a voice called through the door. "Open up!" But Torres had just left, and Harris. Walter pulled Emily behind him, positioned himself between her and the door. The handle rattled again. "This is Special Agent Morrison. I need to speak with the witness." Walter's voice was quiet, steady. "Emily, call that speed dial 2 number right now." Emily flipped open the phone. "Tell them code 33. Tell them our location. You understand?" She nodded. The door handle stopped moving. Footsteps in the hallway. Walking away. Walter waited 30 seconds, unlocked the door, looked out. Empty hallway. He locked it again, turned back to Emily. "Make the call." She dialed. The line rang twice. "Walter," Torres's voice. "This is Emily Carter. Walter said to tell you code 33. Someone just tried to get in here, said they were Special Agent Morrison." Silence. Then, "Lock that door. Do not open it for anyone except me. I'll knock 3 times. Pause, then twice more. You hear anything else? You call 911. "Understand?" "Yes, ma'am." Torres hung up. Emily looked at Walter. "What's code 33? Officer needs help." He sat down in the chair facing the door. "Used to use it back when I was on the job. Guess old habits stick." Rex lay down at his feet, watching the door. They waited. 5 minutes, 10, 15, 3 knocks. Pause, 2 more. Walter stood, hand near his empty belt again. "Who is it?" "Torres." He opened the door. Torres came in fast, Harris behind her, 2 uniformed officers after them. Torres looked at Emily. "We're moving you, right now. This building isn't secure." "Where are we going?" "Safe house in 40 minutes from here, rural area. Easy to monitor." "What about my parents?" "We're bringing them too. They're being picked up now." Emily stood. "What's happening? Who tried to get in here?" Torres pulled out her phone, showed Emily a still image from a security camera, black and white, grainy. But clear enough, a man in a suit, 60s, gray hair, holding a badge case, the same man from the photo Torres had shown her earlier, the one standing next to Diane Morrison in Atlanta. "We don't know who he is yet," Torres said, "but he knows who you are. He knows you're testifying, and he knows you're here." She looked at Walter. "You armed?" "Not anymore. Retired." Torres pulled a compact pistol from an ankle holster, handed it to him. "You are now." Walter checked the magazine, chambered around, tucked it in his waistband. Torres looked at the officers. "You two take point. We follow, eyes open. Anyone approaches, I want them stopped and identified." She turned to Emily. "Stay between me and Walter. Keep your head down. Don't stop moving until we're in the vehicle. Clear." Emily nodded. They moved into the hallway. The officers led. Then Emily. Walter and Rex right behind her. Torres brought up the rear. They took a back stairwell, metal stairs. Their footsteps echoed in the concrete shaft down 3 flights. Through a service door, into an underground parking garage, fluorescent lights, oil stains on concrete, the smell of exhaust and damp. A black SUV waited 20 feet away, engine running. "That's us," Torres said. "Double time." They walked fast, not running, but close. 15 feet from the SUV, 10 feet, a car engine revved, tires squealed, headlights flashed on, bright, blinding. A silver sedan came around the corner, accelerating, straight at them. Torres yelled, "Move now!" Emily ran. Walter's hand grabbed Emily's collar, yanked her sideways. She stumbled, caught herself on a concrete pillar, her palms scraped against rough stone. The silver sedan's tires screamed. The smell of burnt rubber filled the garage. The car swerved left, missed the black SUV by inches, kept going, disappeared around the next row of parked cars. Torres had her gun out, two-handed grip, scanning the shadows between vehicles. "Everyone in the SUV, now!" The two officers moved first, opened the back doors. Emily climbed in. Walter pushed Rex in after her, slid in beside them. Torres jumped in the front passenger seat. "Go," she said to the driver. The SUV lurched forward, tires squealing on smooth concrete. They took the exit ramp at 40 miles an hour. The vehicle tilted. Emily grabbed the door handle. They burst out into daylight, merged into traffic. The driver cut across 3 lanes. Horns blared. He didn't slow down. Torres had her phone to her ear. "Silver sedan. Late model Camry. Tinted windows. Just tried to run down a federal witness in the underground garage at Terminal B. I need units on every exit. Now." She listened, her jaw clenched. "I don't care if you're short-staffed. Find them." She ended the call, looked back at Emily. "You hurt." Emily looked at her hands. Palms scraped red, a little blood. Nothing serious. "I'm okay." Torres turned back around, pulled out her laptop, opened it on her knees, started typing fast. Walter checked the mirrors. Left, right, rear. His hand stayed near the pistol tucked in his waistband. Rex sat pressed against Emily's leg, panting. His tongue hung out. She put her hand on his head. His fur was warm, solid. They drove for 20 minutes, highway, then back roads, trees on both sides, houses set far back from the road, barns, silos, horse pastures. The driver turned onto a gravel driveway. No mailbox, no number, just tire tracks in the dirt leading into thick woods. Half a mile in, a house appeared, single story, white siding, black shutters, looked like any other farmhouse. But the windows had bars, and there were cameras mounted under the eaves. Another black SUV was already parked in front. Emily's parents climbed out of the back seat. Susan saw Emily through the window. Her hand went to her mouth. The SUV stopped. Emily opened the door. Her mother ran, pulled her into a hug so tight Emily couldn't breathe. "Oh, baby. Oh, my baby." Richard stood 3 feet back, arms hanging at his sides, face gray. He'd aged 10 years since breakfast. Susan held Emily's face in both hands, looked at her, checking for injuries, for proof she was real. "I'm okay, Mom." "You're not okay. Look at your hands." Emily looked down. The scrapes on her palms were oozing. She hadn't noticed. "Come inside," Torres said. "We'll get you cleaned up." They walked into the house. Plain interior, beige carpet, floral couch. Looked like someone's grandmother lived here. Probably did until the FBI started using it. A woman in a polo shirt and khakis came out of the kitchen, badge on her belt. "I'm Agent Carlson. I'll be staying here with you. Kitchen's stocked, bedrooms are upstairs, 2 bathrooms, make yourselves comfortable." "How long are we staying?" Richard asked. "Until we locate the vehicle that tried to hit you in the garage and identify the man who tried to access Diane Morrison." Torres set her laptop on the kitchen table. "Could be a few hours, could be a few days." "Days." Susan's voice went high. "We can't just disappear for days. Richard has work. I have students." "Mrs. Carter." Torres looked at her straight. No softness, just facts. "Someone tried to kill your daughter 2 hours ago. Someone else tried to break her out of protective custody. These are not coincidences. These are coordinated efforts by an organization that has made 42 people disappear in the last 3 years. So yes, you're staying here. For as long as it takes." Susan sat down hard on the couch. Richard walked to the window, looked out at the trees. His reflection in the glass looked like a stranger. Emily stood in the middle of the room, not knowing where to go, what to do. Agent Carlson appeared with a first aid kit. "Let's take care of those hands." She led Emily to the kitchen sink, ran water. Warm. Emily put her hands under the stream. The water turned pink. The scrapes stung. Carlson dried Emily's hands with paper towels, applied antiseptic, bandaged both palms with gauze and medical tape. "Thank you," Emily said. "You're welcome." Torres came into the kitchen. "Emily, I need to show you something." She opened her laptop, pulled up a file, traffic camera footage, black and white, timestamp from 40 minutes ago, the silver Camry leaving the airport, heading north on the highway. Torres clicked to the next image. License plate, zoomed in, enhanced. The plate was stolen, reported missing 3 days ago from a parking lot in Cincinnati. "Dead end," Torres said, "but we're tracking it. Every traffic camera, every stoplight, we'll find where it went." She pulled up another file, the photo from the security camera. The man in the suit trying to get into the room where Emily had been held. "Do you recognize him?" Emily looked close. Gray hair, 60s, sharp jaw, cold eyes. "No, should I?" "He was photographed with Diane Morrison 3 months ago, Atlanta Airport. We think he's higher up in the organization, makes the calls, approves targets." Torres zoomed in on his face. "We're running facial recognition, cross-referencing with law enforcement databases, TSA, watch lists. Nothing yet, but we'll find him." Emily's phone vibrated in her pocket. She pulled it out, looked at the screen. New text message. "Unknown number. Nice try, Emily. But you can't hide forever." Her hand started shaking. She showed the phone to Torres. Torres grabbed it. "Read the message." Her face went hard. "How did they get this number?" Emily's voice came out small, scared. "I don't know." Torres looked at Agent Carlson. "Bag this, get it to tech. I want to know where that message originated." Carlson pulled out an evidence bag. Torres dropped the phone inside, sealed it. Torres looked at Emily. "From now on, no personal devices, no social media, no contact with anyone outside this house unless we approve it first." "But my friends." "Your friends can wait. Right now, staying alive is more important than Instagram." The words hung in the air, hard, true. Walter came in from the living room, Rex at his heels. "Perimeter secure, cameras working, 2 agents outside in unmarked vehicles. We're good for now." "For now?" Torres repeated. She didn't sound convinced. Emily's mother appeared in the doorway. "Is she safe here?" "Safer than at home," Torres said. "Your home address was all over the internet." "This place doesn't exist on any map. No mail delivery, no utilities in anyone's real name. It's as close to invisible as we can get." Susan nodded. Didn't look reassured. "I need to make some calls," Torres said. "Figure out our next move." She walked out, laptop under her arm. Agent Carlson opened the refrigerator. "Anyone hungry?" "There's sandwich fixings, leftover chicken, some frozen dinners." Nobody answered. "I'll make coffee," she said. Richard turned from the window. "I'll help." They moved around the kitchen, opening cabinets, finding mugs. The coffee maker gurgled and hissed. Normal sounds, like this was a normal day. Emily sat at the kitchen table. Rex lay down at her feet. Susan sat beside her, put her hand over Emily's bandaged one. "I'm sorry," Emily said. "For what? For all of this? For posting that picture? For not listening when you told me to stop?" Susan's voice was firm. "This is not your fault, none of it. But I made it easy. I gave them everything they needed. You didn't put yourself in that hallway. That woman did. That man did. Whoever they work for did. Not you." Emily wanted to believe that. Couldn't quite get there. The coffee finished brewing. Richard poured 4 cups, brought them to the table. They sat in silence, drinking bad coffee from mismatched mugs in a safe house in the middle of nowhere. Torres came back in, closed her laptop, looked at Emily. "We got a hit on the facial recognition, the man from the security footage. His name is Marcus Webb, former military, dishonorable discharge in 2003, multiple arrests for assault, suspected involvement in a trafficking ring in 2015, but charges were dropped. Disappeared off the radar 2 years ago." She sat down. "He's not the top, but he's close. If we can find him, we can work our way up." "How do you find him?" Richard asked. "Through Diane Morrison. She's the only connection we have right now. We're offering her a deal. Reduced sentence if she cooperates. Gives us names, locations, how the operation works." "Will she take it?" Emily asked. Torres didn't answer right away. Most people do when they're looking at 25 years. What if she doesn't? Then we build the case the hard way, but it takes longer, and the people at the top stay hidden. Emily looked at her bandaged hands, at her mother's face, at her father's hollow eyes. When do I testify? Arraignment is tomorrow. You'll need to be there. Tell the judge what happened. Then we prep for trial. Could be months away. Months. These cases take time. But in the meantime, you're safe here. We'll rotate agents. Keep the location secure. And when this is over, when Diane Morrison and everyone she works for is behind bars, you can go back to your life. Emily thought about her life, the one where she posted every moment, every meal, every thought. The one where she believed the world was safe because nothing bad had ever happened to her before. That life was gone. She looked at Torres. What about the other girls, the ones still missing? Torres closed her laptop. We're working on it. Every lead, every connection. But I'll be honest with you. The longer someone's missing, the harder they are to find. 17 faces, 14 still out there, somewhere. What if I can help? Emily said. You are helping by testifying. No. I mean, what if I can reach out to them, to the families, tell them what to look for, what to tell the police, maybe. Emily. Torres's voice was gentle but firm. You're a witness, not an investigator. Your job is to stay safe and tell the truth in court. That's all. But no buts. You've done enough. Emily sat back, wrapped her hands around the warm coffee mug. Outside, the sun was setting. Orange light filtered through the trees. Inside the safe house, the 6 of them sat around a kitchen table that wasn't theirs, in a house that wasn't home, waiting for a danger they couldn't see. Rex lifted his head, ears forward, staring at the front door. A second later, Walter noticed. What is it? Boy? Rex stood, growled low. Torres was on her feet, hand on her weapon. Everyone away from the windows. Now! Susan grabbed Emily, pulled her toward the hallway. The sound came then, distant, growing louder. A car engine, coming up the gravel driveway. Fast. Torres looked at Carlson. That's not one of ours. Carlson pulled her weapon, moved to the window, peered through the blinds. Silver Camry, she said. Same one from the garage. Torres grabbed her radio. All units, we have an active threat approaching the safe house. Need backup. Now! Static. Then a voice. Units are 20 minutes out. We don't have 20 minutes. The car engine got louder, gravel crunching under tires. Then it stopped. A car door opened. Closed. Footsteps on the porch. A knock on the door. 3 times. Slow. Deliberate. Then a voice. Male. Calm. Emily Carter. We need to talk. Torres moved to the front window. Gun drawn. Finger alongside the trigger guard. Not on the trigger. Not yet. Stay back, she said to Emily's parents. Away from the door. Walter positioned himself in front of Emily. Rex pressed against his leg, hackles raised, a low rumble coming from deep in his chest. Agent Carlson went to the side window, peered through a gap in the blinds. One male, gray hair, 60s, standing on the porch, hands visible. No weapon I can see. Marcus Webb, Torres said. Another knock, harder this time. Emily, I know you're in there. I'm not here to hurt you. I just want to talk. Torres's radio crackled. Units are 15 minutes out. Too long. Way too long. Webb's voice came through the door again. Calm. Patient, like a man with all the time in the world. I'm going to leave something on the porch. Information you need to see. I'll walk back to my car. You can come get it when I'm gone. Footsteps, moving away from the door. Back across the wooden porch. Down the steps. Torres risked a look through the window. Saw him. Gray hair. Dark suit. Walking toward the silver Camry, not hurrying. Hands in his pockets. He stopped at the driver's door, turned back toward the house. 24 hours, Emily. That's how long you have. After that, we start with the families. He got in the car, started the engine, backed down the driveway. Slow, deliberate, like he owned the place. The sound of gravel under tires faded. Then silence. Torres waited 30 seconds, looked at Carlson, checked the porch carefully. Carlson holstered her weapon, pulled on latex gloves, opened the front door 6 inches. Looked down. A manila envelope sat on the welcome mat. She picked it up, felt the weight, checked both sides, no writing, no markings, brought it inside, set it on the kitchen table. Torres pulled on gloves, opened the envelope, pulled out a stack of photographs, 8 by 10, color prints, recent. She spread them across the table. Emily's stomach turned. The first photo showed her house, her parents' house, taken from across the street. Yesterday morning, her father's car in the driveway, her mother's blue windbreaker visible through the kitchen window. The second photo, the elementary school where her mother taught, playground full of kids, her mother standing near the swings, red circle drawn around her head in marker. Third photo, her father's office building, him walking to his car after work, timestamp 5:47 p.m., 2 days ago. Fourth photo, Emily herself, walking out of a coffee shop near campus, 3 weeks ago. She remembered that day. She'd posted a selfie with her latte, tagged the location, fifth photo, Walter's house, his truck in the driveway, address visible on the mailbox. Sixth, the courthouse, main entrance, red X marked on the glass doors. Seventh, a different girl, blonde, early 20s, duct tape over her mouth, hands bound, eyes wide, terrified. Behind her concrete walls, single light bulb. Eighth, a piece of paper, handwritten message in block letters. Emily testifies equals everyone in these photos dies, starting with the blonde. Drop the charges, 24 hours. Emily's legs gave out. She grabbed the edge of the table, stayed upright by force of will. Susan made a sound, half gasp, half sob. Richard stared at his own photo, his face, his car. Someone had been following him, watching, waiting. Torres gathered the photos, slid them back in the envelope. This is a scare tactic, standard intimidation. That girl in the seventh photo doesn't look like a scare tactic, Walter said. Torres didn't answer right away. She pulled out her phone, took photos of the blonde girl, sent them somewhere. We'll run facial recognition, see if she matches any of the missing. And if she does, Emily's voice came out hoarse, then we know he's serious. He already tried to run me down in a parking garage. How much more serious does he need to be? Torres set her phone on the table. Emily's gonna. Listen to me. These people make threats. It's what they do, but following through means exposure, means police attention, means we get closer to catching them. They know that. So you're saying they won't actually hurt anyone? Torres looked at the photos, at the blonde girl with duct tape over her mouth. I'm saying we don't negotiate with traffickers, ever, because the moment we do, they own us. But that girl is probably already dead. Torres said it flat. Matter of fact, these photos could be a year old, 2 years. We don't know. Emily thought about the 17 faces on Torres's laptop. Megan Thompson, Ashley Rodriguez, Caitlin Morris, all the others. What if she's not dead? What if she's waiting for someone to help her? Then we help her by taking down the entire operation, not by giving them what they want. Richard spoke for the first time in 10 minutes. And what about us? The people in these photos. We protect you. We move you to a different location. We increase security. But we don't drop charges. Easy for you to say. You're not the one with a target on your back. Torres turned to face him. Mr. Carter, I've been working trafficking cases for 15 years. I've seen what these people do. If we let them dictate terms, they never stop. They'll own your daughter forever. Is that what you want? Richard didn't answer. Susan wrapped her arms around herself. What do? We proceed as planned. Arraignment tomorrow. Emily testifies. We build the case, and we find Marcus Webb before he finds us again. Torres looked at Carlson. Call it in. I want every available unit looking for that Camry, traffic cameras, license plate readers, everything. Carlson pulled out her phone, walked into the other room. Torres's phone buzzed. She looked at the screen. Her face changed. Went hard. Facial recognition got a hit. The blonde girl in the photo? Her name is Sarah Henley, 22. Reported missing 6 months ago. Denver. She turned the phone toward Emily. Another photo. Same girl. Different context. Smiling, holding a boarding pass, airport terminal behind her. Sarah Henley had posted her travel plans, just like Emily, just like all the others. Is she alive? Emily asked. I don't know. Can you find her? We're trying. Emily looked at the envelope on the table, at the photos inside, at all the people whose lives had been mapped out and marked for death, because she'd said yes, because she'd agreed to testify. This is my fault, she said. No. Torres's voice was sharp. This is their fault. Don't you dare take that on. But if you hadn't what reported a crime cooperated with law enforcement, that's called being a citizen. Emily, that's called doing the right thing. The right thing is getting people killed. Walter stepped forward. Kid, look at me. Emily met his eyes. Blue, tired, old. You remember what I told you about my wife about the kid she reported? Emily nodded. His dad threatened us. Said if Helen testified, he'd burn our house down. Said he'd kill our dog. Said he'd make sure Helen never worked again. What did you do? Helen testified anyway. And yeah, he keyed our car, broke our mailbox, made our lives hell for 6 months. But that kid got out of that house, and he's alive today because Helen didn't back down. But Sarah Henley might already be dead, might be alive. We don't know. But dropping charges doesn't save her. It just means the next girl gets taken, and the next, because these people never stop. Not unless we stop them. Emily's hands were shaking. She pressed them flat on the table. The gauze bandages were already dirty, fraying at the edges. Torres's phone rang. She answered. Yeah. Listened. Her face went pale. When listened more, copy that. We're moving now. She hung up, looked at Carlson. Pack up. We're leaving. What happened? Walter asked. Diane Morrison's been released. A judge granted bail 20 minutes ago. On a federal trafficking charge. How? Her lawyer filed an emergency motion. Medical condition. Heart problem. Needs treatment only available outside. Judge bought it. Torres was already moving, grabbing her laptop, her files. Get everyone in the vehicles. Now. Where are we going? Susan asked. Somewhere Marcus Webb doesn't know about. Move. They scrambled. Emily grabbed her backpack, the same one from the airport, the one she'd left unzipped, the one that had started all of this. Richard helped Susan toward the door. She was crying, quiet, tears running down her face without sound. Walter had Rex on a leash, gun still tucked in his waistband. They filed out the front door. 2 black SUVs waited, engines running. Torres opened the back door of the first vehicle. Carter family in this one. Emily with me and Walter in the second. Emily climbed in. Walter and Rex followed. Torres got in front. Carlson drove. The first SUV pulled out, down the gravel driveway. The second followed. They reached the main road, turned left, heading away from town, into deeper woods. Emily looked back, saw the safe house getting smaller, getting farther away. Torres was on her phone. I need a location, somewhere off-grid, no digital footprint, nothing tied to any agency. Pause. How far? Pause. That'll work. Send me coordinates. She hung up. Looked at Emily in the rearview mirror. 2 hours north, old hunting cabin, no electricity but no running water, but it's secure. For how long? Until we find Webb, until we figure out how Diane Morrison got released, until this is over. When will it be over? Torres didn't answer. They drove in silence. Trees on both sides, no other cars, no houses, just woods and darkness. Emily's phone, the new one Torres had given her, was in the evidence bag back at the other safe house. She had no way to call anyone, no way to check if her friends had texted, no way to scroll through the comments people were leaving on her last post. The boarding pass photo was still up, still public, still getting likes. She wondered how many people had seen it, how many had saved it, how many were scrolling past it right now, not knowing the girl in the photo was running for her life. Walter's voice broke the silence. You doing okay, kid? Emily looked at him, at his weathered face, at Rex lying across his lap. No. Yeah, that's about right. Does it get better? Walter looked out the window, at the dark trees passing by. Don't know yet. I'll tell you when it does. The SUV hit a pothole. Everyone jolted. Rex whined, shifted position, up ahead. The first SUV's brake lights flashed, red in the darkness. They slowed, stopped. Torres leaned forward. Why are we stopping? Carlson grabbed her radio. Unit 1, what's your status? Static, then a voice. One of the agents from the first SUV. Tree down across the road. Recent, someone cut it. Torres's hand went to her weapon. Back up, now! Carlson shifted into reverse. Headlights appeared behind them, high beams, blinding. A vehicle blocked the road, big, heavy, didn't move. We're boxed in, Carlson said. Torres pulled her gun. Everyone down, now! Emily hit the floor. Walter covered her with his body. Rex pressed between them. Footsteps outside. Multiple people. Moving fast. A voice from the darkness. Not Webb this time. Someone else. Younger. FBI, come out with your hands up. Slowly. Torres looked at Carlson. That's not one of ours. No, the voice again. You have 10 seconds. Then we open fire. Torres cracked her window 2 inches. Identify yourself. Badge number and field office. Agent Collins, badge 7439, Portland field office. Torres pulled out her phone, typed fast, waited. There is no Agent Collins in Portland, and that badge number belongs to someone who retired in 2019. Silence outside. Then the voice again. Different now. No more pretense. Give us the girl. Everyone else drives away. You have my word. Torres looked back at Emily. Stay down. Do not move. She opened her door, stepped out, hands visible, gun pointed at the ground. Not happening. Then you all die. Your choice. Emily heard it then. Metal sliding, bolts clicking, safeties being released, at least 4 weapons being ready to fire. Walter's hand found hers. Squeezed once. Whatever happens, he whispered. You stay alive. You understand. You stay alive and you testify. Promise me. Emily couldn't speak, could barely breathe. Promise me, kid. I promise. Outside, Torres stood facing the darkness. 1 woman against 4 armed men pretending to be FBI agents. Last chance, the voice said. Torres raised her weapon, aimed into the darkness. Come and get her. Gunfire erupted. Muzzle flashes lit up the darkness like strobes. The SUV's windows exploded inward. Glass rained down on Emily's back, sharp, cold, cutting through her jacket. Torres dove behind the engine block, returned fire, 3 shots, 4, 5. Carlson threw the vehicle into reverse. Tires spun on gravel. The SUV jerked backward, slammed into whatever was blocking them. Metal crunched. The vehicle stopped hard. More gunfire. The front windshield spiderwebbed. Holes punched through the dashboard. Plastic and foam filling erupted. The radio exploded in sparks. Walter covered Emily completely. His weight pressed her into the floor. She couldn't breathe, couldn't move. Just heard the gunshots. Felt the vehicle shake with each impact. Rex yelped, high and sharp. Pain. Rex! Walter's voice cracked. The dog's breathing changed. Fast, wet, wrong. Emily tried to look. Walter's hand pushed her face back down. Stay down. Carlson kicked open her door. Rolled out. Fired blind over the hood, Torres was still behind the engine block, changing magazines. Her hands moved fast. Automatic. Training. A new sound cut through the chaos. Sirens, distant but getting closer. The gunfire stopped. Footsteps running. Car doors slamming. An engine roaring to life. Tires on gravel, fading away. Then silence. Just the sirens. Getting louder. Torres stood up, looked around, gun still raised, scanning the tree line. Clear, she called. Everyone's status. Carlson's voice from behind the vehicle. I'm hit, shoulder, through and through. Carter family. From the first SUV. We're okay. Vehicles totaled, but we're okay. Torres looked into the back seat. At Walter. At Emily. At Rex. Walter, Rex is down. His voice was hollow. He took one in the chest. Torres moved fast, pulled open the back door, looked at the dog. Rex lay on his side, breathing shallow, blood spreading dark across his tan fur. His eyes were open, looking at Walter. Just looking. Walter's hands pressed against the wound. Blood seeped between his fingers. Hold on, boy. Just hold on. Red and blue lights appeared through the trees. 3 state police cruisers, an ambulance behind them. Real police this time. Real badges. Torres verified each one before she let them approach. Paramedics ran to Carlson first. She waved them off. The dog! Help the dog! One paramedic, young, maybe 25, looked at Rex, shook his head. Ma'am, we're not equipped for that. There's a veterinary clinic in town, Torres said. 15 minutes. Can he make it? The paramedic looked at Rex again. At the blood. At the dog's labored breathing. Maybe, if we move fast. Walter picked Rex up, all 85 pounds of him, carried him to the ambulance, laid him on a stretcher meant for humans. I'm coming with him, Walter said. Sir, you're not. I'm coming with him. The paramedic looked at Torres. Torres nodded. They loaded Rex into the ambulance. Walter climbed in after. The doors closed. Sirens wailed. The ambulance pulled away. Fast. Emily stood on the side of the road, glass in her hair, blood on her jacket, not hers, Rex's. Her mother appeared, pulled her close. Oh, baby. Oh, my baby. Emily couldn't speak, just stood there, trembling. A state police captain approached Torres. Badge number and credentials out. She verified them. Nodded. What the hell happened here? He asked. Attempted kidnapping. Federal witness. 4 suspects. Armed. Fled north on this road about 5 minutes ago. The captain got on his radio. All units. 4 suspects. Armed and dangerous. Heading north on County Road 12. Set up roadblocks. Do not approach alone. He looked at the 2 shot-up SUVs. At the tree lying across the road. Fresh saw marks on the trunk. They were waiting for you. Yes. How'd they know you'd be on this road? Torres didn't answer right away. She looked at Emily. At the Carters. At Carlson sitting on the ground getting her shoulder bandaged? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. 3 days later. A different safe house. This one in Wisconsin. 2 states away, middle of nowhere. Dairy farms and cornfields as far as you could see. Emily sat at a kitchen table. Different table. Same cheap coffee. Same fluorescent light humming overhead. Her laptop sat in front of her, the new one Torres had given her. Secure, monitored, limited access. She was reading comments, hundreds of them, under her boarding pass photo, under news articles about her case, under videos people had made about airport safety. If she hadn't been so stupid, this never would have happened. Natural selection doing its job. Her parents must be so embarrassed. Imagine being this desperate for attention. She basically asked to be kidnapped. Emily scrolled, kept scrolling, couldn't stop. A forum thread, Emily Carter, a case study in poor decision-making, 37 pages long. Someone had found her middle school photos, posted them, made fun of her braces, her bad haircut, her awkward smile. Someone else had found her parents' address, posted Google Street View images. This is where the family that raised an idiot lives. Another person had mapped every location she'd ever tagged, color-coded by frequency. She went to this coffee shop 47 times and tagged it every single time. How stupid can you be? The words blurred together. Stupid, careless, attention seeker, deserved it, asked for it, natural selection. Emily closed the laptop, opened it 30 seconds later. More articles, more opinions. Everyone had one. A TikTok video. Things not to post online. Her boarding pass photo was the first example. 2.8 million views now. Comments. This girl is why we can't have nice things. Imagine being this dense. I feel bad, but also, come on. Her phone, another new one buzzed. Text from a number she didn't recognize. She almost didn't open it. Did anyway. You're making it worse. Stop testifying. Disappear. It's your only chance. Emily stared at the message. Her hand started shaking. She set the phone down, picked it up, set it down again. Torres appeared in the doorway. You okay? Emily didn't answer. Torres saw the laptop screen, the open tabs, the comment sections. Why are you reading that? Because I need to know what people think. You need to know what 12 jurors think. That's it. The rest is noise. Emily looked up. Is it because this noise follows me everywhere? My name is permanently attached to the phrase, airport kidnapping victim. Every time someone Googles me, this is what they'll find. Forever. Torres sat down across from her. So what's the alternative? Drop the charges? Let Diane Morrison walk? Let Marcus Webb keep operating? I don't know. Yes, you do. You're just scared to admit it. Emily's jaw tightened. You're damn right I'm scared. Someone tried to kill me. Someone shot a dog who was protecting me. My parents can't go home, can't go to work, can't live their lives because of me? Because of the people who tried to take you? Because I posted a photo? Torres leaned forward. Emily, listen to me. You made a mistake, a common one. Millions of people post travel info online. Most of them never have a problem. You got unlucky. You crossed paths with someone who knew how to exploit it. That doesn't make you stupid. It makes you human. The internet doesn't think so. The internet is full of people hiding behind screens saying things they'd never say to your face. Who cares what they think? I do. Emily's voice broke. Oh, sure. I care, because every person in my life is going to see those comments. My professors, my future employers. Everyone I meet for the rest of my life is going to Google my name and see people calling me an idiot. Torres didn't respond right away. She looked at Emily's bandaged hands, at her red eyes, at the laptop screen full of cruelty. You want to know what I see when I look at you? Emily didn't answer. I see someone who had the presence of mind to signal for help when most people would have frozen completely. I see someone who agreed to testify knowing it would make her a target. I see someone strong enough to sit here and face the consequences of doing the right thing. That's not stupid. That's brave. I don't feel brave. Nobody does. Brave people feel just as scared as everyone else. They just don't let it stop them. Emily looked at the laptop, at the endless scroll of judgment, at her own face staring back from 100 different screenshots. What if I can't do it? What if I get up there in court and freeze? Then you freeze, and we try again, but you don't quit. Emily's phone buzzed again. Another message. Same unknown number. Your parents looked nice at church yesterday. Would be a shame if something happened on their way home next Sunday. Emily showed Torres. Torres's face went hard. We're tracking these. Every message, every call. We'll find who's sending them. When after they hurt someone, before, we're close. We've got eyes on 3 separate locations where we think Marcus Webb might be. State police have descriptions of the vehicles from the ambush. We found blood at the scene. One of the shooters was hit. We're running DNA. Something will break. When? I don't know, but it will. These people make mistakes. They always do. Emily wanted to believe that. Couldn't quite manage it. Her mother appeared in the doorway. Hair unwashed, eyes hollow. She'd aged a decade in 3 days. Honey, you should eat something. I'm not hungry. You haven't eaten since yesterday morning. I said I'm not hungry. Susan flinched, like Emily had hit her. Richard's voice came from the living room. Flat, lifeless. Leave her alone, Susan. Emily stood up, walked out of the kitchen, down the hallway, into the small bedroom they'd given her, closed the door, locked it, sat on the edge of the bed, looked at her hands. The gauze was dirty, needed changing. She didn't care. She thought about Sarah Henley, the blonde girl in the photo, duct tape over her mouth, terror in her eyes. Was she still alive? Was she waiting for someone to save her, or was she already gone? Another name added to the list of the disappeared Emily had promised to testify, had promised to help put Diane Morrison away, to help break up the network, to maybe possibly save whoever was still out there. But all she'd done was make everything worse. Her parents couldn't work. Walter's dog was fighting for his life. Agent Carlson had a bullet wound in her shoulder, and Sarah Henley was still missing. 17 faces, 14 still out there, and Emily hadn't saved a single one. She looked at herself in the mirror above the dresser, saw a stranger, pale, thin, dark circles under her eyes, hair greasy, clothes wrinkled. The girl who'd posted that boarding pass photo had been confident, excited, believed the world was safe, believed nothing bad would happen to her because bad things happen to other people. That girl was gone. This girl, the one in the mirror, was a liability, a target, a problem everyone was trying to solve. Her phone buzzed. She almost threw it across the room. Didn't. Looked at the screen. News alert. Diane Morrison released on bail due to medical emergency. Judge cites heart condition. Emily read the article. Short, vague, didn't mention where Morrison had gone, what hospital she was at. Nothing. Just released, free, out there somewhere. Emily's hands curled into fists, the gauze bandages pulled tight, pain shot through her palms. She didn't care. She grabbed her phone, typed a message to Torres. How does someone accused of trafficking get bail? Torres replied 30 seconds later. Her lawyer found a sympathetic judge, medical emergency exception. We're appealing, but for now. She's out, Emily typed back. Where is she? I can't tell you that. Why not? Because you're a witness, not an investigator. Stay out of it. Emily threw the phone on the bed, paced the small room, 4 steps one way, 4 steps back. Diane Morrison was free. Marcus Webb was still out there. The people who'd ambushed them on that dark road were still out there. And Emily was sitting in a safe house in Wisconsin doing nothing. She picked up her phone, opened a browser, typed Diane Morrison bail hearing, found an article with more details. The judge, Honorable Robert Kensington, the hospital where Morrison claimed she needed treatment, St. Luke's Medical Center, cardiac wing. Emily screenshot the information, sent it to herself in a draft email, deleted the browser history. Her door handle rattled, her mother's voice. Emily, can I come in? I'm sleeping. It's 3 in the afternoon. I'm tired. Silence. Then footsteps walking away. Emily waited 5 minutes, opened her door. listened. Voices in the kitchen, Torres and Carlson talking strategy. Her parents talking about nothing. Filling silence with words that meant nothing, she slipped down the hallway, into the bathroom, locked the door, pulled out her phone, looked at the screenshot. St. Luke's Medical Center. 40 miles away. If Diane Morrison was really sick, she'd be there. Guarded maybe, but there. And if Emily could get to her, talk to her. Convince her to give up Webb, to tell them where Sarah Henley was, where the others were. Maybe she could fix this. Maybe she could stop being the problem and start being the solution. She looked at herself in the bathroom mirror. At the stupid girl who'd posted her whole life online, who'd trusted a stranger, who'd gotten a dog shot and her parents' lives destroyed. That girl couldn't do anything right, but maybe this new girl, this desperate, angry, broken girl could do one thing that mattered. Emily opened the bathroom window, looked out. Woods behind the house. Thick, dark, easy to disappear into. She climbed up on the toilet, pushed the window open wider, squeezed through, dropped into the grass outside, landed hard. Her bandaged hands hit the ground. Pain shot up her arms. She bit her lip, didn't make a sound. Stood up. Looked at the house. No one had noticed. Yet. She ran into the woods, away from the safe house, away from Torres and her parents and all the people trying to keep her alive. She had her phone, had the name of the hospital, had 40 miles to figure out what she'd say when she got there. Behind her, through the trees, she heard Torres's voice, loud, urgent. "Where's Emily?" A pause. Then, "Find her. Now!" Emily ran faster. Emily ran until her lungs burned. Branches whipped her face, her shoe sneakers meant for airport terminals. Not wood slipped on wet leaves. She caught herself on a tree trunk. Bark scraped her bandaged palms. Fresh blood seeped through the gauze. Behind her, voices, Torres calling her name, flashlight beams cutting through the trees. Emily kept running. The woods thinned. She saw a road ahead, 2 lanes, cracked asphalt, no streetlights. She crouched behind a bush, waited, listened. A car passed, headlights sweeping across the pavement, then another, then nothing. She stepped onto the shoulder, stuck out her thumb, prayed someone would stop, prayed it would be someone safe. Headlights appeared, an old pickup truck, rust on the wheel wells, Wisconsin plates. It slowed. The driver rolled down his window. 70s, flannel shirt, John Deere cap, face like worn leather. "You okay, miss?" Emily's voice came out breathless. "My car broke down, about a mile back. I need to get to St. Luke's. My mom's there. Heart attack." The lie came easy. Too easy. The old man studied her face, her torn jacket, her dirty bandages. "Where's your car?" "Back that way." Emily pointed vaguely behind her. "It just died. No cell service out here." He looked at the empty road, at the dark woods, at Emily's desperate face. "Get in." She climbed into the passenger seat. The truck smelled like diesel and old coffee. A rosary hung from the rearview mirror. Jesus on the cross, carved from dark wood. The old man shifted into gear, pulled back onto the road. "St. Luke's is about 40 minutes from here. You call your dad, let him know you're coming." "My phone died." "Use mine." He pulled an ancient flip phone from his pocket, handed it to her. Emily stared at it. If she called anyone, Torres would trace it. They'd find her before she got to the hospital. "That's okay. I'll surprise them." The old man glanced at her. Something in his eyes shifted. Not quite trust anymore. They drove in silence. Emily watched the mile markers, counted them down. 20 miles, 15, 10. "What'd you say your name was?" the old man asked. "Sarah." The lie came without thinking. Sarah Henley, the blonde girl in the photo. "That's my granddaughter's name." He paused. "You sure you're okay?" "Sarah, you look like you've been through something." "I'm fine. Just worried about my mom." "Uh-huh." He didn't sound convinced. 5 miles from the hospital, he pulled into a gas station. Bright lights, security cameras. "I need fuel. You want something to drink?" "No thanks." He got out, walked toward the convenience store, looked back once, twice. Emily waited until he disappeared inside. Then she opened the passenger door, ran across the parking lot behind the building. Into the darkness beyond, she heard him yelling, "Hey, girl! Come back!" She didn't stop, followed the road on foot, staying in the shadows. Every time a car passed, she ducked behind trees. 40 minutes later, St. Luke's Medical Center appeared. 5 stories, brick and glass, lit up against the night sky. Emily circled the building, found the emergency entrance, ambulances parked outside, people smoking by the door. She walked past them like she belonged. Inside, white floors, fluorescent lights, the smell of antiseptic. A security guard sat at a desk, old, half asleep, didn't look up. Emily found the directory, cardiac wing, 4th floor. She took the stairs, avoided the elevator where cameras would catch her face, 4th floor. Nurses stationed at the center, 6 rooms on each side. She walked slowly, casually, reading names on the doors. Room 403 Morrison. Deal. A police officer sat outside, young, reading something on his phone. He looked up when Emily approached. "Can I help you?" Emily's mind raced. "I'm with social services, here to do a welfare check on Ms. Morrison." At 10 p.m. Emergency cases don't keep regular hours. He studied her face, her dirty jacket, her bandaged hands. "ID. In my car. I got called in from home. Look, if you want to call my supervisor, no need." He stood, stretched. "She's been asleep for an hour. Doctor says she's stable. Heart monitor is hooked up. If anything changes, they'll let me know. Mind if I look in? Just need to verify she's here for my report." He hesitated, then shrugged. "Be quick." Emily pushed open the door. The room was dark except for the green glow of monitors. Diane Morrison lay in the bed, hospital gown, IV line in her arm, eyes closed. Emily stepped inside. The door swung shut behind her. Diane's eyes opened. "Hello, Emily?" Not asleep, waiting. Emily's hand went to the door handle. Diane's voice stopped her. "Scream and the officer comes in. Then FBI shows up. Then you're back in a safe house. Is that what you want?" Emily's hand fell. "How did you know I'd come?" "Because you're predictable. You've been posting your every move online for years. You think I didn't study you? I know exactly how you think." Diane sat up, pulled the IV from her arm. No blood. The line wasn't even connected. She swung her legs over the side of the bed. "There's nothing wrong with your heart," Emily said. "No. But judges are sympathetic to old women with medical problems. Amazing what the right lawyer can accomplish." Diane stood, walked to the window, looked out at the parking lot. "You came here to ask about the other girls, where they are, who took them. You think if you get that information, you'll be a hero instead of a victim." Emily didn't answer. "But here's what you don't understand. Those girls are already gone. Not dead, at least not all of them, but gone. Sold, scattered across 3 countries. You'll never find them." "Sarah Henley. Where is she?" Diane turned, smiled. "Sarah Henley is in a container ship headed for Southeast Asia. She'll arrive in 4 days. After that, she disappears into a system that's been running for 30 years. Good luck finding her." Emily's throat closed. "You're lying." "Am I?" Diane pulled a phone from under her pillow. Not a hospital phone, a burner. She tapped the screen, showed Emily a photo. Sarah Henley, different from the first photo, thinner, bruised, alive but barely, sitting in what looked like a shipping container. Metal walls, a single light bulb, a date stamp yesterday. That's from her current location. By the time your FBI figures out where to look, she'll be somewhere else. That's how it works. Emily's hands clenched. "Tell me where she is." "Why would I do that?" "Because I'll testify. I'll tell them you cooperated. Reduced sentence. Isn't that what you want?" Diane laughed. Quiet, bitter. "You think I'm doing this for a reduced sentence, Emily? I'm doing this because if I don't, my daughter dies." Emily blinked. "What?" "You think I started recruiting girls for fun, for money. I did it because they have my daughter. Took her 6 years ago. She was 23, about your age, posted her travel plans on Facebook, just like you." Diane sat back down on the bed. Her face looked older now, tired. "They gave me a choice, work for them or never see her again. So I worked. I found girls who looked like her, who reminded me of her, and I delivered them. Because maybe, just maybe, if I did a good enough job, they'd let her go. Did they? No. They just keep promising. Keep showing me photos to prove she's alive. Keep making me find more girls." Emily's mind spun. "So help us. Tell Torres where your daughter is, where Sarah is, where the others are. We can... You can't do anything. The moment I talk, my daughter dies. The moment you testify, more people die. That's how this works. There is no winning. There's only surviving. The door opened. The police officer stuck his head in. Everything okay? Diane smiled. Sweet, grandmotherly. Oh yes, officer. This young woman was just checking on me. So kind. He nodded. Close the door. Diane looked at Emily. You have about 30 seconds before he realizes you're not actually from social services. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to walk out that door. You're going to drop the charges. You're going to disappear. And maybe they'll let your parents live. I can't do that. Then they die. Your choice. Emily's phone, the one Torres had given her, buzzed in her pocket. She pulled it out. Text from Torres. Emily, I know where you are. Do not engage with Morrison. We're 2 minutes out. Diane saw the screen. Her smile vanished. They tracked you. I guess I'm still predictable. Diane moved fast, grabbed Emily's arm, pulled her to the window, opened it. Cold air rushed in. What are you doing? Saving your life. Diane looked out. 4 stories down. Fire escape on the side of the building. They're not coming to arrest me. They're coming to kill us both. You think Marcus Webb wants either of us testifying? You're lying? Am I? Diane pointed to the parking lot. 3 vehicles pulling in. Black SUVs, moving fast, not slowing for speed bumps. That's not FBI. That's Webb's people. If you're still here when they arrive, you're dead. The police officer opened the door, saw Diane at the window, reached for his radio. Diane grabbed Emily, pushed her toward the fire escape. Go, now! I'm not. Gunfire erupted in the hallway. The officer fell, blood spreading across his uniform. Diane shoved Emily out the window. Emily grabbed the fire escape railing. Her bandaged hands screamed. She hung there, 4 stories up, looking down at pavement that would kill her if she fell. Diane climbed out after her. Started down the metal stairs, fast. Emily followed, had no choice. Behind them, more gunfire, shouting, glass breaking. They reached the 3rd floor, 2nd floor. First, jumped the last 6 feet, landed hard in the alley behind the hospital. Diane grabbed Emily's arm. This way! They ran. Into the darkness, away from the building, away from the gunfire. Sirens wailed, police, ambulances, more FBI. Diane stopped at a chain-link fence, climbed it. Emily followed. They dropped into a residential neighborhood. Dark houses, sleeping families, normal people who had no idea what was happening 3 blocks away. Diane pulled Emily behind a garage. They crouched there, breathing hard. Why are you helping me? Emily asked. Because you're the only witness who saw me take you. If you die, they have nothing. No case, but no trial. I go free, but so does Webb, and he'll take my daughter somewhere I'll never find her. So what do? We run, we hide. We stay alive long enough for Torres to arrest Webb. Then we both testify. We both survive. And maybe, just maybe, we get our lives back. Diane looked at Emily. Her face wasn't grandmotherly anymore. Just tired. Desperate, human. Do you trust me? Emily thought about the hallway, the water bottle, the threats, the terror. No. Smart. Diane stood. But you're going to follow me anyway, because right now, I'm the only thing standing between you and Marcus Webb. They moved through backyards, over fences, between houses. 15 minutes later, Diane stopped at an old sedan parked on a dark street. She pulled keys from her pocket, unlocked it. Get in. Emily hesitated. Diane's phone buzzed. She looked at the screen. Her face went white, showed Emily the message, a photo, Emily's parents, tied to chairs, duct tape over their mouths, Marcus Webb standing behind them, gun in his hand. Below the photo, you have 1 hour to bring the girl, come alone, or they die. 6 months later, Emily stood in front of a high school auditorium. 200 students stared back, sophomore through senior, mandatory assembly on internet safety. Half of them were on their phones. Rex lay beside her, grayer now, moving slower. The surgery had saved his life but left him with a limp. He'd never work as a police dog again, but he'd come home with Emily, slept at the foot of her bed, went everywhere she went. The principal finished introducing her, used words like survivor and advocate. Emily barely heard. She stepped to the microphone. No notes. Most of you have seen the video, the hand signal that went viral after what happened to me. A few heads nodded. More phones came out to record. You probably think that's what saved me. Pause. Let them wait. It helped, but it wasn't everything. She told them about the boarding pass, the tagged locations, the woman who'd studied her life like homework. She didn't sugarcoat it, didn't make herself the hero. I froze. Couldn't scream. Couldn't fight. For months after. I thought that made me weak. The phone stayed up, but fewer kids were scrolling. Freezing isn't weakness. It's your brain trying to survive. And when you can't run, when you can't fight, you adapt. She reached down. Rex lifted his head. She scratched behind his ears. I also learned something else. Help comes from unexpected places. Sometimes it's a dog. Sometimes it's a stranger who doesn't look away. Sometimes it's someone you'd never trust in a million years. She thought about Diane Morrison, about the night they'd driven to that abandoned warehouse where Marcus Webb held her parents, about Torres and her team arriving 30 seconds before Webb would have pulled the trigger, about Diane stepping between the gun and Emily's mother, taking the bullet that was meant for Susan Carter. Diane had lived. Barely. Spent 2 months in the hospital, then testified. Gave them everything, names, locations, how the network operated. Her own daughter's location, a brothel in Manila. FBI had raided it, found 12 girls. Diane's daughter wasn't one of them. She'd been moved 3 days earlier. They were still looking. Emily pulled herself back to the auditorium, to the 200 faces watching her. So here's what I want you to remember. Think before you post. Protect your information. Turn off location tags. Don't share your routine. Learn the hand signals. She paused, made eye contact with a girl in the third row. 16 maybe, hood pulled up, arms crossed. But more than that, trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Ask for help, use your voice, touch a dog, make the signal, do whatever it takes, because you're stronger than you think. The applause was real this time, not polite. Actual. Afterward, students lined up. Questions, requests to pet Rex. He tolerated it, patient as ever. The girl from the third row waited until everyone else left. Approached slow. Hands in her pockets. Can I ask you something? Sure. Do you still get scared like in airports and stuff? Emily didn't lie. Yeah, every time. How do you deal with it? Emily looked at Rex. He looked back. I remember I survived once, so I can survive again, and I don't go anywhere alone anymore. The girl nodded, started to walk away, stopped. Thanks. You're welcome. The teacher approached after the girl left, 40s, tired eyes behind wire frames. That was powerful. Thank you. You're welcome. What made you decide to do this, the speaking? Emily picked up her bag. Rex stood, shook himself. Someone told me once that you can let trauma bury you or turn it into something that helps other people. I figured I'd try the second one. The teacher smiled. Wise person. He is. Emily and Rex walked to the parking lot. Late afternoon sun cut through bare trees. November in Wisconsin. Cold, gray, leaves everywhere. Her phone buzzed. Text from her mother. How did it go? Emily typed back. Good. Heading home. Another buzz. Walter. Proud of you, kid? She smiled. Put the phone away. Rex jumped into the passenger seat. His spot. Had been for 6 months. She started the engine. Country music on the radio. Something old. Merle Haggard, maybe. Pulled out of the parking lot. Turned left. The road was familiar now. She'd driven it 100 times. Her parents had moved. New house, new town. Her father had found work at a small accounting firm that didn't Google applicants. Her mother taught at a private school where the parents didn't care about internet drama. They were rebuilding. Slowly. The locks on their new house only had 2 deadbolts instead of 3. Her father only checked the security cameras once an hour instead of every 15 minutes. Progress. Emily had gone back to school. Different university, closer to home, psychology major still. But now when professors talked about trauma responses, she didn't just read about them in textbooks. She'd lived them. The fear hadn't disappeared, probably never would. Airports were hard, crowded places, strangers who stood too close. Sometimes she'd see a woman in a gray cardigan and her chest would tighten. Sometimes she'd wake up at 3 a.m. certain Marcus Webb was in her house. He wasn't. Webb was in federal prison, awaiting trial, 17 counts of human trafficking, 4 counts of attempted murder, 1 count of kidnapping. He'd die there. Old, alone, forgotten. Diane Morrison was in a different prison, reduced sentence for cooperation, 15 years instead of 25. Her daughter was still missing. But Diane wrote to Emily once a month, small notes, updates on her health, apologies. Emily didn't know what to do with. Emily didn't write back, didn't know what she'd say. Of the 17 missing girls, they'd found 6 more, alive, damaged, but alive. 8 were still out there. 3 had been found dead. Sarah Henley was one of the 8 still missing. The shipping container had been real. But by the time FBI tracked it down, it was empty. Sarah had been moved, again. The trail went cold in Thailand. They were still looking. Emily drove, thought about dinner, whether she had chicken in the freezer, whether Rex needed more food. Normal thoughts, boring thoughts. Her phone buzzed. She ignored it. Whoever it was could wait. Rex yawned, settled deeper into the seat. The sun dropped lower. Traffic was light. Friday afternoon. She thought about the girl in the hoodie, the one who'd asked if Emily still got scared. She wondered if that girl would delete her location tags tonight, if she'd think twice before posting her next photo, if she'd remember. Maybe, maybe not. Emily couldn't control that. She could only control what she did, what she chose, how she moved forward. The house appeared, porch light already on. Her mother always turned it on early, old habit. Emily pulled into the driveway, put the car in park, turned off the engine. Rex lifted his head, looked at her. Home, Emily said. His tail wagged twice. The front door opened. Her mother stood there, dish towel in her hands, smile on her face. Hey, baby, how was it? Good. Her father appeared behind her mother, reading glasses on his head, newspaper under his arm. You eat yet? Not yet. Your mom made pot roast. Emily walked up the steps. Rex followed. Her father held the door. They went inside. Dinner smelled like rosemary and garlic, her mother's recipe, the one from Grandma Helen, written on a grease-stained index card kept in the drawer by the stove. Rex went to his water bowl, drank, lay down on the rug. Emily washed her hands. The scars on her palms had faded, barely visible now unless you knew to look. They sat at the table, 3 plates, 3 glasses. Normal, her father said grace, short, simple. Thank you for this food. Thank you for keeping us safe. Amen. They ate, talked about small things, the neighbor's new car, whether the Packers would make the playoffs. Normal conversation, the kind families have when the worst is behind them. After dinner, Emily went to the back porch, sat on the steps. Rex came out, lay beside her. The sun was almost gone, orange and pink streaking the sky, stars starting to appear. 2 years ago, she'd sat in a bathroom stall at an airport, terrified, certain she'd disappear. Now she sat on her porch, safe, breathing, alive. The fear was still there, in corners, in shadows, in the back of her mind when she heard footsteps behind her on empty streets. But it didn't own her anymore. She'd survived. She'd adapted. She'd asked for help. She'd kept going, and somehow that was enough. Rex's tail thumped once against the wooden step. Emily scratched behind his ears. Stars came out, more and more. The sky turned from pink to purple to black. Inside, her mother laughed at something her father said. The sound drifted through the screen door. Emily pulled out her phone, 17 notifications. She glanced at them, didn't open any. Tomorrow, she'd check tomorrow. Tonight she was just going to sit here, in this moment, with this dog, under these stars, safe. Rex's breathing evened out. In, out, in, out. Emily closed her eyes. When she opened them, the stars were fully out. Bright pinpoints in the darkness. She stood. Rex stood with her. They went inside. She locked the door, checked it twice. Old habit. Her phone sat on the counter, still lighting up with notifications. She left it there, upstairs. She changed into pajamas, brushed her teeth, looked at herself in the mirror. Same face, different eyes. She turned off the light, got into bed. Rex settled on the floor beside her, close enough to touch. Through the window, she could still see stars. Sleep came easier now. Not perfect, but easier. Tomorrow she'd wake up, make coffee, take Rex for a walk, go to class, study, live, keep going. Because that's what you did. You survived. You adapted. You kept going. And somehow, impossibly, that was enough. Her last thought before sleep, Sarah Henley was still out there, somewhere, and people were still looking. That mattered. Even when everything else was broken, that mattered. If you're sitting with something heavy right now, that's all right. This story doesn't wrap up clean. Emily is safe. But the fear didn't vanish. It just learned to live in a smaller space. Sarah Henley is still missing. Diane Morrison's daughter is still out there somewhere. Some things don't get fixed. They just get carried. Many of us know what it's like to make a choice that echoes longer than we expected, to be seen by strangers in a way we never wanted, to watch someone we love walk into danger without meaning to. Emily posted a photo. It seemed harmless. It wasn't. And she'll carry that knowledge for the rest of her life. Not as punishment, just as fact. Some of you have felt the weight of wishing you could go back. Change one small thing. Take a different road. Say yes instead of no, or no instead of yes. That ache doesn't need explaining. It's allowed to exist without resolution. This story doesn't end with Emily healed. It ends with her living. Going to class, petting her dog, eating pot roast with her parents. Small things, ordinary things. The things that matter when everything else has been broken and put back together crooked. You don't need to take anything from this. You don't need to learn or fix or change. You just listened, and maybe that's enough. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying.